I the antagonist for talking to a stranger's child? Hello Reddit, first-time poster here. I, 26 years old male, was visiting a go-kart track in my city for the first time and took advantage of a holiday discount offer. While it was in no way cheap, it was still more affordable than regular pricing. In turn, it meant that there would be more customers. The process to get racing goes like this. You get in line, get let in and take your cart and can start once the employee gives the group the go-ahead. Then you drive for around 10-15 minutes until you are to drive back in the pit lane and a new group of racers can take their turn, rinse and repeat. With all this backstory, now to the incident in question. During my second run, I got stuck behind the child, maybe 9-10 years old, in question. I couldn't overtake him given that he tried to use racing lines but also veered off, blocking the chance to overtake without crashing into him in the short track with many twists and turns. At the second lap of being stuck behind him, he got the blue flag, the signal that someone faster is behind him, and that he should slow down and pull to the side to let them pass. He did not do that. So instead, I got stuck for around 3½ laps behind him until the race was over and we had all had to get back into the pit lane. There I approached the kid and told him, "Hey kiddo, just a reminder, if he, the employee, swings the blue flag, it means someone faster is behind you and you're meant to let them pass." Afterwards, I waited in the lobby for the current round to pass to join the next and last one again. Now, as I chatted with other people at the bar, non-alcoholic, the kid's father approached me, looking ready to fight, and asked me what my problem was for me to talk to his son like that. I really didn't understand cause I saw nothing wrong and told him as such, leading to him to explain that now, the child who was until then having a great time, was now feeling sad and defeated. After leaving, the other people who also took part in that race didn't understand the problem either. As I wanted to join for the next round, the employee stopped me, telling me that it wasn't my place to reprimand other people, let alone children, on the rules and that continued behavior would get me banned. With all that being said, I have heard both that I am the antagonist and I am not the antagonist and would like Reddit's judgment to put my mind at rest. While it's important to ensure fair play on the track, approaching a child to remind them of racing etiquette could have been handled with more tact and sensitivity, especially considering the father's reaction. Moving forward, it may be best to leave rule enforcement to the track staff to avoid any further conflicts or potential bans. Would I be the asshole for asking people to stop soliciting cars to honk for them? I, 37 years old female, live in a residential neighborhood with a fair amount of kids. My house is only 3 houses down from an elementary school and playground. For the last week or so, a small group of children, 5-8 kids, my guess on ages is 7-12 years old, have been congregating on the sidewalk corner of the cul-de-sac directly across from my house. While there, they encourage every vehicle that passes to honk for them. They do so by yelling honk, making the truck honk gesture, and most recently by holding up signs. This first happened on a Friday evening and there were 5 kids. The street I live on is the main one in the neighborhood and connects to 2 major roads in town, so it gets a lot of traffic. By my unofficial estimate, they were able to get 2-3 of the cars to honk. I want to point out that these children are not running a lemonade stand, aren't selling anything, aren't promoting anything, aren't affiliated with any group cause. They just like getting cars to honk. The first time, I was annoyed, mostly because I work swing shifts, including overnight shifts, so I was trying to sleep when they did it. Also because I have a 1.5-year-old dog that I'm still trying to train, specifically on barking. He's trained on most other things. Not only does he start barking, but he also just seems confused and anxious with the frequent honking. While I was annoyed, I had zero thought to say anything or try to stop the kids, as I figured it was a one-off situation and they were just being kids. However, since then they have continued this activity. They also scream and shriek at loud volumes, and other children have now joined the original group. The cars have gotten so used to it that they almost always honk, some doing an extended lay on the horn honk. The kids usually start around 4 p.m. on school days and will stay anywhere from 2 hours to until it gets dark, which isn't until like 9 p.m. It's not constant. They go in for a bit for dinner, and sometimes they get caught up in playing some other game, but 8-10 past days they've been soliciting honks for 1-2 hours at the very least. I use earplugs when trying to sleep during the day, but car horns, especially since they are honking right in front of my house, still come through. I'm missing sleep. My dog has regressed with their anxiety. Part of my job is providing care to people, and with how foggy my brain has been due to lack of sleep, I'm worried I may make a mistake that could be harmful to my clients. I'm working close to 50-hour weeks and averaging 4 hours of sleep a day right now. Would I be the asshole if I approached the kids and asked them to please stop requesting cars to honk for them? I would try to be as polite as possible and explain why it's impacting me. I get that this is such an innocent thing for children to do, and I feel like a grumpy old lady trying to police their fun. However, it also feels excessive and is seriously messing with my well-being and my dog. It sounds like you're dealing with a challenging situation due to the noise disruption caused by the kids' honking activities, which is understandably affecting your sleep and your dog's well-being. It's completely reasonable to approach the children politely and explain how their actions are impacting you, as finding a solution that works for everyone is key in maintaining a peaceful coexistence in the neighborhood. Am I the antagonist for being frustrated with my partner for not doing any housework while they look for a job after being made redundant? My 23 years old female partner, 25 years old male, has lost his job nearly 3 weeks ago now. Thankfully, his old boss has agreed to pay him for 1 month if he left immediately, to give him an opportunity to find elsewhere. This is his 3rd job that he lost, due to redundancy. I'm trying to be a supportive girlfriend, but I won't lie, it's really stressing me out. Due to everything going up in cost over the last 2 years, we spend nearly double on bills and haven't been putting that much away into savings, as odd costs keep coming up. My entire wage just about covers all our bills but nothing else. We are okay this month, but come May, we will most likely have to dip into our savings until he finds a job, which isn't ideal as we are trying to save up to improve our house. Now, he has used this time to apply for jobs. He's had a few interviews. He's not been told no. The interview process is just drawn out, so he has to have at least 2 or 3 calls with each company. My partner has therefore been at home for nearly 3 weeks now, and during this time has done barely any housework. I work full-time, 5 days a week. I work from 9 a.m. and finish at 6 or 7 p.m. with a 30-minute commute. I find my job to be high stress and low reward, so I'm unhappy, but obviously it's not wise for me to leave anytime soon, as at least it's very stable. After work, all I want to do is relax and play games and save all my chores for the weekend. My partner only does chores when I tell him to, usually with me at the weekend. His job was pretty relaxed and he would always be home sooner than me, at 6 p.m. The house really needs a lot doing. With my job taking up more of my time recently, housework has piled up, but I just don't have the time. I've worked 3 weekends recently too. It would have been really nice to come back to a clean home and a maintained garden. I tried to find a balance between being a supportive girlfriend, so I hinted at housework needing doing, prompting questions like what was he up to, and telling him that XYZ really need doing. Nothing happened. Eventually I got annoyed and told him that as he's not currently working, he should have the time to do housework. He's not done anything, not even washing dishes after us. He got defensive and told me he doesn't sit on his arse all day, and he has been applying for jobs, in-call interviews, and had a couple physical ones and a few more lined up. It has been a week since I snapped, but he's still barely done anything around the house. I know it's stressful for him too, so I don't want to pile on, but am I crazy for thinking he genuinely does have a lot more free time to do the tasks we have struggled to get on top of, such as garden work, painting, cleaning, etc., whilst both still working? I feel bad for snapping, but I've come home today and the house is still a mess. I know he didn't have any interviews today, and with the stress of my job and his unemployment, I feel really fed up and I just can't cope. So am I the asshole? It sounds like you're juggling a lot right now, and it's understandable that you're feeling overwhelmed with the workload both at your job and at home. It's important to have an open and honest conversation with your partner about the division of household responsibilities and finding a balance that works for both of you as a team. Remember to take care of yourself too amidst the stress, and don't hesitate to communicate your needs clearly to maintain a healthy dynamic in your relationship. Am I the antagonist? Partner drops the ball camping and packing. Am I the a-hole? In July of 2022, my boyfriend of 7 years and myself attended an annual art camping event. Both of us have attended this event 4 times before COVID shut down. The July 2022 camping event, the first event since the COVID restrictions were lifted. Pre-COVID, we have attended other art camping events and did not have many hiccups or setbacks. Our camping adventure in July of 2022 didn't go well due to several behaviors was my partner responsibility. Both of us also volunteer at the event. I had my first volunteer shift late Monday afternoon. I had early arrival time for Sunday Monday, so I could set up my base camp on Sunday or Monday before my Monday shift. We take 2 vehicles, with my car having the base camp stuff to set it up ahead of his arrival on Wednesday. Boyfriend did not have pre-event early entry due to not signing up for his volunteer shifts, so he was going to arrive on Wednesday when the gates officially opened for general ticket holders. My pre-event responsibilities for preparing for the camping trip for us for stuff we are sharing, getting all the gear together, and make sure the gear is in working order. 2 tents, canopy, bedding stuff, electrical lights, kitchen stuff, tables, chairs, portable sink and water station, bar stuff, cleaning the coolers, packing the coolers, with food. It's a lot of inventory of stuff. My boyfriend pre-event responsibilities are to pack his clothes, pick up ice for the coolers, and pack up the 2 vehicles. Here are some of the hiccups caused by him dropping the ball for our July 2022 camping trip. Item 1. He did not pack the ground cloth or tarps for the tents in my vehicle. Before I left late Monday morning, we both knew high probability of rain in late afternoon, early evening, throughout the night. It was kind of imperative the tarps were packed in my vehicle, so I would be able to set up camp before my shift in rain. It did rain. Due to him not packing the tarps, I had to sleep in my car, in an all jacked up position. I do have back and neck issues. The next day, due to sleeping in my car, lead to a horrible cervicogenic headache. 3. I called him about not packing the tarps for the tents, so he decides to drive to the event with the tarps, even though he does not have permission for early arrival entry because he has not yet signed up for his volunteer shifts. By the time he arrives, it's too late to set up camp due to the constant rain. He ended up emailing his department lead, explaining he has the tarps for his girlfriend. He needs early arrival so she can set up camp. The lead allowed him early entry for the tarps and he signed up for Friday night and Saturday night volunteer shifts. I kinda didn't like that situation because my boyfriend kinda finagled his way for early arrival. After it was closed to other people, it didn't sit well with me. 4. On Tuesday morning, we find out the coolers with food and beverages in boyfriend's vehicle did not close water valves. Ice and water had melted out and soaked the interior of his vehicle. Now need to dry out the vehicle gear and go into town to pick up cheaper ice. Setting up camp on Tuesday afternoon during the hot hours, due to my volunteer shift, was from 10 to. It's the hot part of the day. Boyfriend could have set up part of the camp while I was on shift, choose to play instead. 6. Go into town to pick up ice and grab a bite to eat. Boyfriend takes us on a wild goose run and getting us lost, even though he has GPS. I don't know it was such a time suck of a trip into town. 7. On Wednesday, boyfriend tells me he lost his wallet with the ice money somewhere while playing on Tuesday evening. He was responsible for the ice money. I asked him to check everywhere in the tent and his last worn clothes for his wallet. He stated he did, couldn't find it and it's lost. Our friend offers to cover our ice, since it's only cash ice sales at the event. I was a bit upset by this additional snafu about ice and coolers. My headache is not decreasing from the day before. On Thursday morning, I go through everything in the tent and all of my boyfriend previous worn clothes with pockets. Guess what wallet was in his hoodie? With the money for ice purchase. 810 viewer master after see. I know 8 Sidalkin. 8. Boyfriend kept leaving the campsite littered with empty beverage cans all over the place, which is kind of a no, as litter can travel with the wind and the event is leave no trace. 9. Boyfriend was very late in signing up for his volunteer shifts, had to sign up for 6 p.m. 10 p.m. shifts on Friday and Saturday night. Not cool for us. Lots of good events happened during this time that both of us could attend together. Overall, he had stated it was my tone and how I addressed all of these hiccups, even though his actions were provoking negative types of reactions. He does not want to camp together for the upcoming 2024 event because I do frown when someone else with delegated responsibilities drops the ball, causing additional problems and setbacks. While it's understandable that camping mishaps can be frustrating, it sounds like your boyfriend may have missed a few important details leading to challenges during your trip. It's important to communicate effectively and ensure responsibilities are met to avoid future camping headaches. Am I the antagonist because I didn't want to do yard work? Backstory. I, a 15-year-old female, only met my dad, a 43-year-old male, in June 2023 and 3 months ago moved from London to Cairns, Australia to live with him. The reason for this is that my mother and stepfather abused me my whole life. Public transport is terrible here. The bus comes every hour if they even show up. So I asked my dad if he could buy me a scooter and I would pay him back. However, this was before I found out my visa doesn't allow me to work, but I still intend to pay him back however I can, probably selling art and craft at the market. My biggest fear is being completely dependent on someone, which is why I really wanted the scooter because I didn't like completely relying on my dad. Anyway, so last week my dad and I planned to do yard work on Saturday. However, when he woke me up that morning, 9 a.m., I was extremely tired. I'd had a really hard week of school and it was the first week back from the holidays, so I wasn't too enthusiastic about getting up. I don't like waking up then immediately getting up, but I did anyway because he really wanted me to get up. I got dressed then went outside but had no shoes on, which he commented on, so I went to put some on. He followed me to my room and said he'll just do it on his own with an attitude and said, "I'm just like my mom." I put my shoes on then offered my help again and he denied it. So I spent the whole day in my room doing schoolwork. The next morning I decide I'll be the bigger person and apologize for not helping the day prior. So I do, and he says that an apology the next day isn't good enough, and that if I want to ride my scooter from now on, then I have to pay $20 every time, which I think is unfair considering I offered to help twice, and he said no. I ignored this and went to my room again for the day to do more schoolwork. Then the next day we had another argument about it, with him essentially saying that he was going to wipe my debt if I had helped him, which he's not doing now so I can forget that, and that he's bought me everything I needed or asked for since being here. Let me clarify that this is things like clothes, because I've had to change my dress sense since moving to this climate and a school laptop and money when I go out with friends and stuff. I'm honestly being 100% serious when I say I don't remember asking for a lot of stuff, which isn't to say I didn't though. My dad has anger issues and gets mad at me a lot for stupid reasons, which he's even admitted before. Because of my past, I have a lot of self-doubt when it comes to arguments and stuff, so I felt I needed to turn to Reddit to ask, am I the antagonist? Also, just to note, I am fully aware that my dad is new to being a parent, which I fully understand and am conscious of all the time, which is why I don't complain about him. But I'm getting a bit sick of always suffering the backlash because of everyone else's mistakes. It seems like there are some miscommunications and differing expectations between you and your dad, which can be frustrating. It might be helpful to have an open and honest conversation with him about how you both can better understand each other's perspectives and find a compromise that works for both of you. Would I be the asshole if I ditch my friend? Would I be the asshole if I ditch my friend? I, 14 years old female, have a friend, 16 years old female, who I've known for about a year. She was nice at first, but she ended up dragging me into bullying another girl. She ended up turning me into a middleman and openly trash-talking the girl to me right next to her. But that's just one of the things she's done. She makes me feel guilty whenever I can't or don't want to hang out call, and everything we do together always seems to have to be food-related. She makes half her personality about the fact that she loves toddler cartoons and Disney movies, think Bluey, Stitch, etc. And then the other half is all about how she's an overweight teenager. None of those traits were that bad. I don't really care if she likes more childish things or if she has a different body shape than I do. But she always seems to be making me feel bad about something or another, whether it's her declaring my hair is frizzy or that I'm flat-chested. I'm really not, but she loves to call me flat. Or if it's her demanding to see my texts, photos, etc. and just in general invading my privacy or embarrassing me. As for interpersonal conflicts, the whole thing where I almost got suspended over being added to the whole hate group chat and her loudly shit-talking a girl right to my face when she was right there really sucked. She never really apologized to me or any of the other girls she roped into her hate chat. I'm not saying we didn't ever say something rude, but she was the ringleader and she kept pushing me to do it even though I told her I thought it was going too far. In addition, just the stuff where she insults my appearance leads to arguments because I end up getting extra snippy afterwards, and one occasion I told her that she needed to mature. Another time, I got super frustrated with her for nitpicking everything I do, and I yelled at her for playing a part in band that she got kicked off of, and I told her that she needed to stop playing parts we got taken off of because we were in Flute 1, and that she was messing up the sound of the band. She doesn't have very many close friends. Most people are kind of just like mutually acquainted with her. She seems to be kinda lonely and I sympathize with her. High school is definitely really brutal, but I feel that she's a bad influence on me and she doesn't really make me feel good. So would I be the asshole if I ditch her? It sounds like you've been dealing with a lot of negativity and disrespect in this friendship, and it's completely understandable that you're feeling drained and overwhelmed by her behavior. Setting boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being is important, so it wouldn't make you a bad person to distance yourself from someone who is not treating you with kindness and respect. Just remember to approach the situation with empathy and honesty, as navigating friendships can be tricky, especially during the tumultuous teenage years. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.